This video is for homework 5, which is writing equations of hyperbolas. So the first part is we're going to label the horizontal and vertical hyperbola parts. So the center, we have an arrow pointing here. This is HK. And then we have A is from the center to one of the vertices, and then B is from the center to one of the co-vertices, and then C is from the center to the focus. Then on the vertical hyperbola, this is HK, because that's the center. And then we have A is from the center to one of the vertices, B is from the center to one of the co-vertices, and C is from the center to one of the foci. So that is those points labeled. For this part, we're going to write the equation from the graph, and you'll have one of these on the quiz and one of these on the test. So make sure that you know how to do this. If you remember from the video, you might want to pause this and then go through and try it for yourself, and then check on the video. So to find the center, I'm just going to draw a line across here, and then halfway in between there, that is the center. So we can see this is 0, 0, so the center is at 1, 3. So from that, we can start writing our equation. So just like with ellipses, these are always equal to 1, but there's a minus sign in between, and depending on if it's a vertical or horizontal hyperbola, then the x is first or the y is first. This one is horizontal because you can see here that our hyperbola goes like this. So that's a horizontal hyperbola, so x goes first. So we have x minus 1 and then y minus 3. Now the last thing we need to write the equation is the distance from the center to one of the vertices, and the distance from the center to one of the co-vertices. So this right here is the distance from the center to the vertex, so that's 2, so we're going to put that here, 2 squared, which is 4. And then the distance from the center to one of the co-vertices is there, and that is 8. So that means that 8 squared, which is 64, goes underneath y, and that is our equation. Okay, on the next one, we're going to draw the line in between here, and then the middle of that is the center. So the coordinates of the center on this one is, that would be -2, 0. This hyperbola opens vertically, so that means that y is first. So we have y minus 0, or we can just write y squared, and then we have x plus 2, because this is like x minus -2. Then we need the distance from the center to a vertex. So this is 5, and that's A. So 5 squared is 25. And then going this way, this is also 5. So B squared is 25. So that's our equation. You could also write it as just y squared over 25 here. So it would look like this. Okay. Also, we're just doing the first page, so 1 through 6 on this homework. And just like she said in the video, it's easiest if you graph these points and you can tell what is going on, like how the how the hyperbola opens, if it's horizontal or vertical. And so I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to draw, this is going to be a really rough graph because it doesn't need to be super like precise. It's just to get an estimate of what like just to get a view of what's happening. So our vertices are at 0, 3, and 0, -3. So since those are the vertices, we know that this is going to open vertically because they are on, they're like opposite from each other. They're like up and down. Man, I'm struggling here. Okay. And then the co-vertices are at -1 and 1 on the x-axis. So this is going to be my box. So our equation is going to look like this. And since it's a vertical hyperbola, it's going to have y first. And since the vertices are +3 and -3, in between there is 0, and then the co-vertices they are -1 and 1, so in between there is 0. So it's just y minus 0 and x minus 0. Or you could write y squared and x squared on the top. Now a is the distance from the center to a vertex, so that's 3. So 3 squared is 9, and that goes below y squared because a always goes first, b always goes second in hyperbolas. And then the distance from the center to a co-vertex is 1, so 1 squared is 1. So our equation is y squared over 9 minus x squared over 1 equals 1. Or you could even just write it as x squared. On the quizzes on the test, you'll need to type in that the b value is 1, or b squared, I guess, is 1, to make sure that you get those points. Okay, let's graph this one. Like I said, it would be a good idea if you pause this and see what you can do on your own before watching the rest of the video. So the first vertex is at 14, -4, so I'm going to put that about right there. And then we have -4, -4. Oh, I should make sure that those look about the same. Okay, so since these are, they would be like on the same line horizontally, that means that this opens horizontally. So I'm just going to draw an estimate of this hyperbola like this. Okay, and then the co-vertices are at 5, 1, so I'm going to put that about right there, and 5, -9. So now we need to see where these intersect, where these lines from these points intersect. So these are both at -4 for the y. These are both where x equals 5. So that means that our center right here is at 5, -4. Write that a little bigger. So this would be at 5, -4 for the center. So this is a horizontal hyperbola, so x goes first. So we have x minus 5 squared minus y plus 4 squared equals 1. And now for a and b, we just need to find the distance between the center and a vertex, and then the center and a co-vertex. So from 5 to 14, or 5 to -4, that's 9. So 9 squared would be 81. And then from 1 to -4, or -4 to -5, sorry, -4 to -9 would be 5 units. So 5 squared is 25. Okay, next we have 4, -6, and then -6, -6, those are the vertices, so this is going to open this way. And we have our co-vertices at -1, 3. So about right there. And then -1, -15. So I'm going to put that like way down here. So the first thing is that we want to find our center. So I'm going to connect these dots. Okay. And this is down here at -6. So I'm not going to put the parenthesis there. This is where y equals -6. This is where, oh, I put this on the wrong spot. Let me erase this. That's -1. Sorry, -1, 3, and then -1, 15. There we go. Now this will make a little bit more sense. Okay, and then we have this one. So my points are a little off for the lines being straight, but that's okay. So this is what at y equals -6, this is at x equals -1. So our center is at -1, -6, because that's where those points would intersect. And this is a horizontal hyperbola, so we are going to have x plus 1, x goes first, and then y plus 6, because y goes second, and that's equal to 1. Now the distance from the center to a vertex, we're going from -1 over to 4, or -1 to -6, so that's 5 units. So that's 25. And then the distance from the center to a covertex, we're going from -6 up to 3, or -6 down to -15, so that is 9 units. So that means that this is 81. Okay, and our last problem on the homework will look like this. So we have -2, -8. We'll put that down here, and then -2, 8. It's going to be up around there. I'm going to erase this and try again. I'm going to make my lines straight. Okay, now we have one here and one here. So because these are opposite of each other, like vertically, this means that this is a vertical hyperbola. So that means that y is going to go first. And then our covertices are at -6, 0, and 2, 0. So now we're going to see where these intersect. So obviously we can see that the y coordinate of the center is going to be at 0. And we're going over -2 to get there. So this is our center. Now the distance, well, we can plug in our values. So we have y minus 0 and then y minus -2, or y plus 2, or sorry, x plus 2. I said that wrong. Now we need the distance from the center to a vertex. So that's going to be 8. 8 squared is 64. And then the center to a covertex, we're going from -2 over to 2, or -2 over to -6, so that's 4. So that would, 4 squared is 16. Okay, and one thing I want to note is in the video, she says vertexes and like vertice, but the single of vertex is just vertex. Don't ever say vertice, because it's not right. And then plural is vertices. So it's one vertex or two vertices, 2 or more vertices, but don't say vertexes or vertice. And also make sure that if you don't just copy down the answers on this, I want to make sure that you're practicing because you have a quiz and a test. And so make sure that you're learning what you need to. And this video is to be a help, not for you to just copy off of. So make sure that you are doing that and studying for the quizzes. Okay, thanks guys.